Hi, I'm Charu Sharma. I founded a few companies in Silicon Valley. I invest in startups and I mentor founders around the world. So in this series, I'm going to answer the most commonly asked questions from founders. In the early days of a startup, who should you hire and how do you find them? I think it really boils down to what are your biggest needs? And sometimes in the early days, maybe you don't need full-time employees. Maybe you just need to go on a Fiverr or an Upwork and contract someone to do little tasks for you because you as one person or two co-founders cannot just do everything. I personally tried to do everything that I could in the early days to understand every function, at least at a high level, and also to understand which functions do I have strengths in and which functions I would not be the strongest in. Where am I spending the most time? And then who can I hire to replace me so they take care of that execution where I can then focus on the next step or the next phase of the business or the next problem that we have. After recruiting my co-founder, who was my CTO, the first person we hired was another mobile engineer. In those early days when we had the fewest clients, I could manage everything from fundraising to sales to customer success to design, but we needed to build the product a lot faster. And so we decided to go with an engineer. After that, I knew that I could handle sales. In fact, I needed to handle sales in those early days to get those early adopters. But we needed somebody who could be a mini me and just stay with customers and users and just really make sure that they had a fabulous time and turn them into these raving fans. And so we hired a part-time customer success person. And so we really just thought about what are our biggest needs in the next 3 to 6 months, and then what sort of function would be able to solve that best. In the first couple of years of your business, you will change your strategies so many times. For example, sometimes we try to focus on events to generate leads. Sometimes we focused on outbound enterprise sales outreach. And so each of these strategies requires a different kind of a specialist. So I actually decided to hire fresh college grads who I could really mold and coach, and who were interested, in fact, in wearing multiple hats. So if we ever change strategies, well, A, they weren't very expensive relatively. So if we change strategies, I didn't lose that much money by having to replace them. And two, because they had done other parts of the business, they were actually very well-rounded. And then when they spoke to a customer, they understood sales. Or when they did sales, they really understood the customer. So that actually made for a terrific experience for our existing and future customers. I think just like a co-founder in an early hire, you need to make sure that in addition to the skill set you need, that some basic human elements or personality traits are in place. For example, one, are they in a place in their life where they can take a good amount of risk? Will they be willing to wear multiple hats and do whatever needs to get done at a fast-paced, really small business of your size? Three, are they generous people? And you can gauge that when you're negotiating for salary or equity in the interview phase, but you can truly understand, will they be giving to the team? It's really important to have a culture where people want to create value for other people. For example, in our sales team, of course, everyone wanted to hit their quota and be the top performer on the team. They would share their best practices with each other. Or if somebody was based in Canada and if they were trying to sell to somebody in Asia, they would just give the lead to the sales rep based in Asia. And you want to create a culture where people are trying to push each other up and not pull each other down. It's also important that when you interview these early hires for your company, you understand what's their why in their life, as in what is their life mission, what is important to them, whether it's family, a paycheck, a mission. How do they at a personal level relate to what your company is doing? Does someone want to grow into a new role? Does someone want to become a manager? Does someone want to get global exposure? And then it's really important that you try to customize their experience at your startup that really personally aligns with what they want. And believe me, you will get a loyalty that will last you throughout your lifetime. I hope this was helpful. Please like, subscribe, and share the video. And if you have other questions, go ahead and comment below, and I'll be sure to respond. Ciao!